Am I the a-hole for expecting my ex-girlfriend to move out after she broke up with me, even though she has nowhere else to go? I, 27 male, have been with my girlfriend Megan, 26 female, for 4 years, and we've lived together for 2 of them. We live in a house I inherited from my grandmother. Megan quit her job a while ago to pursue her master's degree full-time, since her bachelor's wasn't opening any doors. I've been supporting her financially and emotionally while she's been in school. To be clear, I never resented that. I wanted to support her goals and was proud she was pushing forward in life. Her program is intense, and she's even taking summer courses. I work full-time and also take care of the house, which means some things slip through the cracks. I cook, clean, and try to keep things in decent shape. It's not perfect, but I genuinely don't think it's bad. I'd comfortably have friends over without worrying about the place looking or smelling off. I'm not an amazing chef, but I know my way around the kitchen. Though yeah, they're mostly basic dinners. The past couple of months have been hard. Megan's stress levels have been through the roof, and tensions between us have grown. She's been unhappy with how I clean or cook, saying I don't meet her standards. I get that she's overwhelmed, but I felt like nothing I did was ever enough. I still tried to be patient and supportive, but things hit a boiling point and we had a big argument. Megan broke up with me. It hurt, but I honestly think it was for the best. We were clearly not making each other happy anymore, so what was the point? Here's the problem. Now that we're no longer together, I think it's fair for her to move out. She doesn't agree. She says she has nowhere else to go, and that if she's forced to leave, she'll have to drop out of her program. Her mom and stepdad live the RV life, and she doesn't have friends who can take her in. She did receive a decent amount of money from her own grandmother when she passed, but she used most of it to cover her tuition. I know she wasn't blowing it. It really did go to school, but now she's tapped out and stuck. I get that this situation sucks, and I don't want to see her crash and burn, but I also don't feel like I should have to keep living with someone who broke up with me. I've already given her 45 days to figure something out, even though, legally, I'm only required to give her 30. She's now trying to say she wants to work things out, but to me, it feels more like panic and desperation than a genuine desire to fix the relationship. I don't hate her, but I don't think it's healthy for either of us to keep living together in this limbo. So, am I the a-hole for expecting her to move out after she broke up with me? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. She doesn't agree. Tough. Expecting her ex-boyfriend to continue supporting her is wild. You gave her 45 days. That was generous enough. If she doesn't leave by then, file for eviction. The ex-boyfriend who paid for everything who she broke up with because he didn't cook and clean for her well enough? The audacity of this weirdo. In his house. Not hers, not theirs, not a rental. His house he owns. What a dumbass. Not the a-hole. She ended the relationship. That comes with consequences, like moving out of your house. Compassion is one thing, but you're not obligated to provide free housing to an ex who chose to walk away. 45 days is more than generous. Sorry for the hijack, but I just wanted to add a PSA. This post is proof, just in case anybody had doubts, that even someone dumb as dog spit can get a master's degree. She lives in a place where she had someone that willingly played the role of bang butler for her, and at no time whatsoever did it occur to her that maybe she should thank OP or her lucky stars. Whatever career she ends up in, I'm really hoping it isn't one that requires good judgment or an iota of common sense. Not the a-hole OP. There are people out here who would kill for a partner that gives as much support as you did. I hope you find your person. She's been unhappy with how I clean or cook, saying I don't meet her standards. The gall of someone to exist because of someone else's charity, and then complain about how they give it. You're not the a-hole, but she's an enormous one, and you're good to be rid of her. Kick her out after 30 days, like the law requires. She probably should have thought of this before breaking up with her meal ticket. Oh, this. She broke up with OP because she wasn't satisfied with his service. Wonder if she ever did any work around the house or contributed at all. She did prior to entering the program, but we have different standards or definitions of what's clean or what's good. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling a friend that a tattoo on her chest saying "Forever Brian's" is a deal breaker for most men, even though Brian has since passed away? I've got a friend named Ula that is relatively new, as I've only known her for 4 years. She has a tattoo on her chest just below her collarbone that says "Forever Brian's." She got it when she was quite young, early 20s, about 15 years ago, when she was engaged to her first love, who unfortunately passed away due to cancer, is my understanding. I don't know the history beyond that. It happened quite quickly, and she got the tattoo after he passed away. I've been watching her date for about 4 years now, and the tattoo has consistently been a sticking point for the 3 to 4 or so guys that I've seen her with. Each one has said it differently, but they've all said that they'd like her to get it removed, or that it makes them uncomfortable enough to leave the relationship when it got serious. Last night, Ula and my wife were having a girls' night together, and I was downstairs enjoying some Baldur's Gate 3, when they both came down and asked for a guy's opinion and harassed me until I put the controller down. I warned them repeatedly that if they asked me for a guy's opinion, that I would provide one, but it might be hurtful. So, I asked the ladies if they remembered the movie Titanic. They both agreed. I asked them if they remembered what the core theme of the movie was. They both answered that it was a love story between Jack and Rose. So I told Ula, "Do you know who it wasn't a love story for? Rose's husband. Rose's husband married her, had children with her, stayed married to her for roughly 60 years and grew old together, overcame adversity, and successfully had a long life together. But Rose didn't think of her husband or those memories together when she died 60 years later. She thought of Jack. All of that living that Rose and her husband did together meant little, because in the end, when she passed away, she went to her first love, Jack." I looked at Ula and said, "That tattoo is written confirmation that they're not your forever person, which is fine when you're casually dating. But what you're indirectly asking for when things start to get serious is if they're willing to sign up to be your Rose's husband." I agreed that Brian had passed away over a decade ago. I agreed it wasn't fair. I agreed that they were stupidly competing with a dead person. I agreed that removing it won't change how she felt about Brian. My bottom line was this was a one guy's opinion on the matter, which obviously all her previous boyfriends to some degree agreed with me on, as each one had raised it as a serious issue to them. I wasn't trying to start a huge argument, but that's basically what happened. So I tried a different approach and told her, "Look, not trying to start anything, but everyone wants to find their forever person. What you're doing is basically telling these guys you've already found yours and that's not changing. So they keep it casual for as long as they can. And when you try to get serious, they leave to protect themselves. Because no one wants to be a placeholder and it doesn't help how aggressively you defend it." Shortly after, she passed out on the couch, much to my relief. In hindsight, this should have been a conversation to have while sober. So, was I too harsh? Was I an a-hole? Even the next morning, she was slowly crying and committing to removing it, which I told her to talk it out with more than just friends, and maybe seek out a professional opinion before removing it. But I sure felt like a royal a-hole. It really felt like there was no winning here. Just a lot of hurt feelings and distant tragedy. Him being dead makes it even more of a deal breaker. Nobody wants to try and compete with the dead love of her life. You were spot on comparing this to Titanic. Yup, he's dead, so he's idealized. You're competing with her fantasy of what might have been. Yeah, not only has he passed, but he passed when Ula was so young she hadn't had a chance to really see him through adult eyes. I mean, chances were if he lived, they may not have lasted the test of time, but she's seeing him through rose-colored glasses. So if she compares new partners to him and is like, "Brian wouldn't have done this to me," she probably doesn't actually know what Brian would have done because she hadn't had a chance to have real arguments with him. Or she could always just date guys named Brian? My grandmother actually married 2 different guys with the same name. It's doable, LOL. Had a friend once whose dad's name was Randall. Mom got remarried. He was also named Randall. All her kids had the middle name Randall. All 4 of them. It was super weird. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not telling my boyfriend about strippers at a bachelorette party? My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 4 years. We met in college, started dating our junior year, and are part of the same friend group. A couple friends of ours were supposed to get married last summer, but had to delay it to this year. We are both in the wedding party and were invited to the bachelor and bachelorette parties. During the planning for the bachelor party, my boyfriend told me that the best man wanted to go to a strip club, and the groom got the go-ahead from the bride. I am very uncomfortable with strip clubs, just always have been. I am not trying to shame sex workers in any way, but strip clubs just always grossed me out. I told my boyfriend this, and told him I would feel much better if he didn't participate in that part of the bachelor party. I wasn't going to tell him he can't go to the party at all, just that when other people go to a strip club, that he finds something else to do. We kind of got into a fight about it, because he was worried that he would be the only one not going to the club and would therefore be alone at a bar, or have to leave altogether if the rest of the party wanted to stay there for a long time. I understand that part, but I was pretty firm that I didn't want him to go to the club part of it, and he eventually relented. The parties were scheduled for the same weekend, and the bachelorette party got a hotel suite for the night. Well, it turns out that the maid of honor hired a couple of male strippers to come to the room for a private show. I wasn't really comfortable with it and tried to leave, but the rest of the girls pretty much made me stay. After the parties, I asked my boyfriend how the bachelor party went, and he pretty much just said it was fun and that he hung out at a bar with another couple guys while the rest went to a strip club for an hour or so. He asked how my party went, and I told him it was fun, but didn't mention the male strippers. I don't know why I didn't tell him, I just didn't. At the wedding reception a couple of weeks later, I was talking with some people and noticed my boyfriend talking with a group of people in the wedding party across the room, and they were all laughing except my boyfriend. I keep looking at them, and eventually my boyfriend looks at me and he's just staring daggers at me. Like, I have never seen him look at me like that before, and I felt really uncomfortable. He was really cold with me the rest of the night, and he ended up getting pretty drunk and passing out at the hotel as soon as we got there. On the car ride home the next day, he finally opened up and told me that one of the bridesmaids had told him about the strippers, and he was mad that I would tell him not to go to a strip club and then go and hang out with male strippers in a private hotel room show. He said that was way worse than any strip club, and that I was a huge a-hole and hypocrite for it. He said he feels like I'm hiding something because I didn't tell him about the strippers, and he doesn't believe me that nothing happened. Now for the top comments. You're the a-hole. How did the other girls make you stay? Why couldn't you go to the hotel bar? And why didn't you tell your boyfriend and explain the situation? Right? I seriously doubt the other girls tied her to a chair. You're the a-hole. How would you not be the a-hole here? You made a big stink about the idea of him going to the strip club, yet you participated in the exact same thing, and then lied about it too. Plus, I actually kind of agree that your situation is worse. Private room thing versus strip club itself. Objectively, you're a hypocrite. While it doesn't necessarily make you a bad person, yes, you're definitely the a-hole. I'd like to point out that the very thing he said was going to be really hard for him, everyone else doing it and wanting him to come along, is your exact logic for why you participated. Yup, he lost a lot of face to be true to her. She didn't reciprocate. You're the a-hole OP. She was assertive with him about not going to a strip club. I have a hard time imagining her being too timid to leave the hotel room. And it seems that he was the butt of the joke when it came out that there had been strippers with the women at the wedding too. I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of if someone says they're not comfortable going to a strip club, or if that's a boundary someone wants to assert. But it sounds like the friends at the wedding were having a laugh, and it was obvious that he wasn't in the know. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to acknowledge my best friend's wife? I, 24 male, have been having issues with my best friend's 23 male wife, 20 female, for months now. From the first day we met, she judged me. First, it was because I couldn't attend their wedding. I was working remotely in a different country at the time. I apologized profusely and ordered them a pizza oven as a wedding gift. There were little remarks that my girlfriend, 23 female, could hear in the background of our phone calls. She would write down what she heard from me since I'm deaf. My phone is capable of translating audio calls into text on my screen, but it can only pick up so much, and for the most part, I rely on context clues. It got more ridiculous when I returned to the States and finally met her. She didn't realize that I was deaf. She started yelling, for the record, we can tell, and ignored my girlfriend, who tried to explain that yelling is rude to do. It's much easier to read lips when you speak normally. Any other time when we would meet up, which I made sure wasn't often, she wouldn't look at me when speaking. She was relying on my girlfriend to translate, which my girlfriend shouldn't have to do. I'm capable of reading lips. Again, it's also rude to do, even if I had a certified translator with me. Last night at game night was the last straw for me. His wife offered to order dinner for all of us. When the driver dropped off the delivery, she didn't order anything for me. She apologized and said, "Well, I forgot he was here since he's so quiet." I've never been embarrassed to be deaf until that moment, which is saying a lot because I was born deaf. My girlfriend shared her dinner with me. I ignored his wife for the rest of the night, and we called it early. My girlfriend lied and told them she had an important meeting to prepare for. His wife, I think he asked her too, has been texting me with half-baked apologies that I have been ignoring. This caught the attention of my best friend, who texted me asking why I was being mean and ignoring her. He said she was sorry for what happened and that she wasn't lying about me being quiet. He told me that I shouldn't get so butthurt over a few comments. I've been ignoring him too. I don't think making fun of me or the deaf or hard of hearing community is funny. Am I the a-hole for acting sensitive to this and ignoring them both? I don't want to throw away our friendship, but I feel like it's for the best. My girlfriend is supportive of removing ourselves from them or of forgiving them and moving forward. That she was sorry for what happened. No, she wasn't. And even if she were, you are more important than she is. Take care of yourself first, not the a-hole. Telling a deaf person, "Oopsie, you don't get any food because you were so quiet," is one of the most obtuse, ignorant, and flat-out disrespectful things I've seen in quite a while. That is next-level a-holery. The friend downplaying it, calling OP mean for ignoring the crappy apologies of his a-hole wife, and calling OP butthurt warrants an instant end to this friendship in my book. Friend is as much of an a-hole as his terrible wife. I'd have told her, "Oh, you didn't notice me here? I might be deaf, but apparently you're blind." Just to be clear, that slight at forgetting to get you food because you're quiet was intentional. No way she forgets you, but remembers your girlfriend. My girlfriend said the same thing to me in the car. Tell your idiot friend because he doesn't seem to notice. Or not. Sometimes people can't see anything wrong with their partners. If he was going to realize his girlfriend is an a-hole, he'd have done it already. Drop that friendship fast as heck. His wife is ignorant and your friend is compliant. No way. Thank you. I'm starting to see that from some of these comments.